Okay, let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. So I put days 3 and 4 of the words to me together because it's only fitting. Isaiah 43, and this comes from the Name of God Bible, Names of God Bible. Isaiah 43, Yahweh created Jacob and formed Israel. Now this is what Yahweh says. Do not be afraid because I have reclaimed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you go through the sea, I am with you. When you go through rivers, they will not sweep you away. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned, and the flames will not harm you. I am Yahweh, your Elohim, Kodesh Yisrael, your Savior. Egypt is the ransom I exchanged for you. Sudan and Seba are the price I paid for you. Since you are precious to me, you are honored, and I love you. I will exchange others for you. Nations will be the price I pay for your life. And day 4 is Proverbs 17 and 9. Whoever forgives an offense seeks love, but whoever keeps bringing up the issue separates the closest of friends. Now that was a lot. Just reading it, like, I know this is true. And I want to just make this clear. This is not like you can find life in the scriptures because the scriptures talk about Yeshua. And I spent the whole morning with him and just listening to him in John. And I think this is very good that we listen to the word too, because you can understand it. And obviously don't listen to it in something that you are not familiar with, because if the thous and the thous get you caught up, then it's not for you. Simple, right? But while I was listening to him, he's saying like, my whole job is to get you connected, to get you plugged back in with the Most High. And I gave my life for you, so you give your life for me. And that means your speech, your thinking, your actions, like everything. Do it like God is watching you. And it's like this, like I'm feeling this morning. And it's rough when you have only been accustomed to the world and what the world has given you and how the world defines things. But I want you to hear what Yahweh has said. He says, do not be afraid because I have reclaimed you. You ever like got your car towed and they take it to a lot and you got to come through, you got to show some paperwork, and then you can reclaim, you can take back what is yours? He's saying like, I came back and I took you, like, be here with me. Love me through whatever it is you think you're going through, because there isn't anything that I wouldn't do for you. And I'm going to say I slipped, right? Because I was slacking on what my purpose really was. And it's shameful because God has done like so much for me, man. And none of this is like external. It's all internal, and allowing me to really understand what love is, what compassion is, what long suffering is, what kindness is, and his grace. Like, I have been a pretty rotten person in my life. And what's even more arrogant or ignorant, both, about this situation is that I loved it. I didn't understand that I was hurt, so I'm reacting like this. I was trying to be independent of him, and I caught all that independent and yeah, I was in it deep, and not realizing like this is temporary. And no matter what it is, I know he has me. I know he's been there for me. I can't deny it, like, not ever. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about how we really like play the Most High, man. And I'm like, no, not at all. My friend's like, do you get up and do you sometimes? And I'm like, yeah. Do you give him his time the way that he's asking you? No. Okay, then you're playing him. And why would I want to play somebody who says, I have called you by name, you are mine, When you go through the sea, I am with you. When you go through rivers, they will not sweep you away. And this is any type of motion that's coming your way. And let me tell you, the motion comes. And sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes you're in a peak, sometimes you're in a valley. I know. I'm not going to talk about anything unless I lived it, unless I have firsthand experience on it. So I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm bashing the next person, but I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to be hostile. I know what it's like to be on edge all the time because you don't know who's going to play you. And you got to come in the mode, and I ain't giving nobody nothing. You see it? It's not an act, it's real. Like, cold. I done said some vicious things in my life. I done did some vicious things in my life. You ever come home and your whole house is emptied? Yeah, I was a person that emptied that. You ever talk about somebody who sold crack? Yeah, I did that. You ever talk about somebody who, man, I did hit somebody with my car. Working out of pure negative emotion and having it move me. Stab tires, all of that. Like, emptied out a CD, did it, and felt no type of way about it. And then he goes, when you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, and the flames will not harm you. I am Yahweh. Yahweh is, he brings into existence whatever exists. That's what, like, it's already there, and he's the one that moves it. And then Elohim, the creator God. You know God got plenty of names. It's just not like God. And then the Kodesh Yisrael is the Holy One. God is so, you got to think about it. Like, he's so pure and righteous that we really don't deserve a conversation. We don't deserve a look back. We don't deserve anything. But this is what Yeshua said this morning. Like, you can't come to me unless he sends you. You've learned from him. You've been taught by him. Now come to me so I can really show you what life is. And I started eating these words that he was talking about and saying, yeah, I got to watch my mouth. I got to make sure that everything that I'm doing is for the glory of God. Like, he's watching, and I really got to have myself in check. Man, listen, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. And then this outside thing happens, and this outside thing happens, and this outside thing happens, and it's wild. How am I going to have peace in my life if I'm not walking with him? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to have any peace because I didn't have any peace before. He said, Egypt is the ransom I paid for you. That bondage that you were in, that bondage that you resided in, he paid the price so you don't have to have that no more. And that's coming from him. Man, like, really quick, I was driving this morning and Yeshua was like, you can't be tempted by something that you still are in tune with. Like, if you're in tune with it, you're going to get tempted. But if you're not in tune with something, like, you're not going to be tempted by it. Like, I had a really bad porn problem because I felt like it was better for me to get my money at home than go be with somebody else. Now, I don't have that problem because it doesn't excite me. It doesn't move me. It doesn't do anything. Because one day while I was sitting there getting my money, I thought about the Most High is watching me. Embarrassing. And there's a couple of other shady things that I've done, but I mean, that's between me and him. We worked it out. But it's not a thing. Since you are precious to me and you are honored and I love you, I will exchange others for you. Nations will be the price that I paid for your life. And he's paid that for my life. There isn't anything that he wouldn't do, even in my wretchedness, even in my sinning. He still came for me and was with me. Like, we're going to get it together. There's going to come a time where you're going to hate this. And we're going to be like, you're so in tune with me that when something's not of me, you're like, no, I can't. And then day 4, whoever forgives an offense seeks love, but whoever keeps bringing up issues separates friends. And in another translation, it says something like, whoever covers an offense seeks love. I haven't been the perfect person, and some things I'll let offenses rise up and be like, but he's showing me. Like, look at all those things that you just did. Like, you're rotten. How could you ever? The audacity, right? Cost me a close friend. Hopefully, God willing, it works out. And if not, I've learned my lesson. Because the Most High doesn't treat me like that. Nor does he say, you know, you got this long resume of your stuff. I can't. And I'm going to keep thinking about it every time I see your face. And every time I hear your voice, you did X, Y, and Z. You walked out on me. You were doing this. You were doing that. He don't do that. He's not going to. Work it out. He loves me. He loves you. So if I got to tell you about my rottenness and how, man, I didn't deserve any grace, any mercy, none of that. But this is the heart that's under God. And I'm made right because of Yeshua, righteous because of Yeshua. Can't nobody take that from me. Holla at the Most High.